Israeli government engaged in massive acts of terror against civilians and others in Lebanon. We all know how this, we don't know precisely how it happened, but we know generally what happened. Mobile devices exploded all over the place, in hospitals, in shops, in cars, on the street, in people's pockets, in their homes. 50 people are dead, including children. 3,000 people are wounded. This resumed a little bit, not on the scale that it had the other day, a little bit today. What kind of a military strategy is this, Professor Mearsheimer?
It's a very interesting question. I mean, it gets at the issue of what the Israelis are up to here with regard to Hezbollah. I think that there are two possible ways the Israelis could be thinking. One is that they move large-scale military forces to the border with Hezbollah. This is to northern Israel, and they've done some of that. And then they explode all these pagers and do great damage to Hezbollah. And the purpose of these two moves is to coerce Hezbollah into reaching some sort of ceasefire. It's very clear that the Israelis are deeply committed to getting a ceasefire with Hezbollah, so that all of those 60,000 Israelis who have been displaced from northern Israel can go back home. And what I'm describing here is a coercion strategy. In other words, you cause great pain on Hezbollah with the exploding pagers, number one. And then number two, you bring up ground forces, which they've done to threaten an invasion. That's the coercion strategy. The other strategy is you just invade. But if you're going to invade, if you've decided to do that, you don't want to explode the pagers beforehand. You want to explode the pagers as you invade into southern Lebanon and begin to attack Hezbollah forces, who will then be at a disadvantage because of these exploding pagers. But they didn't do that. They've played that card now. And that tells you that the coercion strategy was their goal. They wanted to coerce Hezbollah. And I think the reason that coercion was the first choice of the two strategies was because they don't want to invade. They know that it will be a nightmare once they go in there. So the question you then have to ask yourself is, do you believe that this has worked? Has Hezbollah been coerced? Are they going to throw up their hands and basically surrender and reach a peace agreement or a ceasefire with the Israelis? And Nasrallah has now spoken, and he has made it unequivocally clear that they're not going to throw their hands up. These are tough hombres, and they're going to fight back. So the Israelis are now left with one option, which is to invade. And